Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Shiggles. I'm that guy Rickster,
Hi, Darian here, guys.
the very delayed hi. But okay, how was your week? Let's start there.
Um, it was an okay week. Kind of injured myself
Okay.
2 days ago at the gym. My
Uh,
lower back, but I think it just sprained, and I slept
Look at
most of
us having
yes.
back
I slept
injuries
most
from
of
the
yes.
gym.
I slept most of yesterday and today, and I think it's healing. So I probably might just lay off legs for a minute. Um,
hmm
but
And
that's
I
just
was
about it.
doing legs when mine
Yeah, I think
happened
I
as well.
I didn't I
Haha.
didn't squat incorrectly. I got up incorrectly.
That's what
And
happened to me as
it strained
well.
my lower back. But it's all
And I
good.
had to crawl home and lay on the floor for a few days.
Well, for me, it was painful to bend, but it wasn't really that bad per
Oh
se.
no, mine was horrible. Yeah.
But it was all
So
right.
yeah, my week it was okay as well. Thank you for asking.
Ain't nobody give
Always
a fuck
enjoy
about your
that.
week, but yeah,
But yeah, it was an okay week as well. After the stress of how last week ended, this week was good. I will give it that. This week was a good week. I have nothing more to say about that, no matter what you may ask.
Anyways, so let's get into what's going on for this
Let's
week.
get
Is
into the topic for this week. Do you want to introduce it or should I?
sex on the first date.
Yes,
What say
guys,
you?
that's the topic for this week. When I was younger, I realized we do that a lot. Whenever we're talking about this topic, like when I was younger or whatever. When I
Once
was
upon a
younger,
time.
right? I would back then I would be like, no, don't do it, you slut. But now I'm like, whatever. If it happens, it happens. Because they always say, oh, you jinx it if you have sex on the first date and blah, blah, blah. But you have people who wait 10 dates before they sleep with the person before you could even see like their pinky finger without a glove. And you have people who have sex on this first date. Like you wait 10 days, have sex, and then you break up like a month later. People have sex on the first date all the time and they go on to have very long lasting relationships. So I don't think it really matters if you do or not.
Here's what I'm gonna say about that. I think, and it's something because I am actively looking for, well, actively and not actively, because I'm actively and not actively looking for my forever person, my husband. It's like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, like I visit conversations, like I visit talks on things like people put on social media, or I just look at the people that I interact with on a, you know, on a dating basis. And I think, especially when it comes to like sex on the first date or sex whenever, why is there so many rules? I I I don't get it. And so for some people it's like religious things, where Christians be like no sex before marriage and all of that. But
Which is
living
understandable.
living in the real world and interacting with people, especially if this is something that you've done multiple times, you've realized that life, and I probably say this a lot in this podcast, but not everything is black and white and clear cut the way you think it's gonna go. And you might
Exactly.
meet someone and you might not get the urge to have sex with them and you're dating them for like a couple days or weeks, or you might meet someone and you immediately have sex with them. I don't think there's a problem with having sex on the first date
I don't either.
most times.
If it happens,
And
it
then some
happens.
people be like, oh, you have no self-control or whatever. Fuck that. I need to
No, but
let me say this, I need to test the waters. We need to exchange nudes. So I need to see what you're working with. I need to see that it's
you
okay, it looks good, da, 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 da. That's the first thing before we
you
even
can't
get to
buy
that
pussy
point.
in a bag,
And that's the thing, I don't get this puss in a bag, puss in a barrel sort of thing. Like, I
right?
start talking to someone and be like, oh, I don't send news until automatic. I'm sorry if this sounds anyway, but automatic, I'm no longer interested. Like, I need to see like where we're going with this, and it's the same thing with sex too. So for me, if
We're
we
visual people, visual beings.
exactly, and if we don't have sex on the first day, there's no real problems with that, But I would like to think that eventually it's gonna come up at some point, maybe like a day or two of us talking or something, because we like each other, right? Also, I need to test the waters to see what your sex
But
game is like. I mean, I know my sex game is good, but I need to see what your sex game is like. Like, can you match my energy? Like, can we like a tennis match in the bedroom sort of thing? I don't want to be dating this person three
oh,
months and be like, oh, 3 months rule, we don't have sex, we don't kiss, and 3 months later down the line, you can't fuck. Absolutely
so
not.
you want someone to match your nasty, to match your freak.
Let me not use or attempt to use
Okay.
that ongoing trend right now, but I just need to know that sexual compatibility and chemistry is a real thing. You can have sex with
It
10
is
people and you're only sexually compatible
compatible.
with one of these persons. So like if I'm going to date you and like we went out, we had a couple drinks, maybe we kissed and whatever, and like we end up at somebody's house, if the opportunity presents itself, and of course if we're into each other, why not? I just hate the
Exactly.
fact that in dating, like there's so many rules, and I believe that this I real especially in this generation, all of these rules is the reason why dating isn't working, because people, and a lot of these rules come from social media. People have an idea from social media what dating should be like, how soon you should have sex with a person. It doesn't work like that. Things happen.
But then you're even going to say, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing it on the first date." Who knows how long this first date
Date will
took after you two started talking? Maybe it could be you're talking for like 3, 4 months, and then you decide, "Oh, let's go for a date," and then that's what it ended
it
up happening. You've been building this rapport with this person over a few weeks or months, and like, of course, if you're attracted to this person, is going to be
sexually.
in every way, sexual,
Mhm.
physically. So when you two definitely meet for that first time, it doesn't have to do with self-control. It's the fact that you two are definitely attracted to each other. So if it leads to you two having sex on that first date, then what's the
Right,
problem?
and exploring each other's bodies, getting to know each other's body parts outside of their clothes is also a part of dating. Sorry if I sound like a whore,
Yes.
but I need to know
And what makes you tingle?
what's going on with the sex like with this person. Like maybe it doesn't have to be the best sex, but it could be okay to be like, okay, all right, this is something that I can work with. And also it's at that particular point where you might find out certain kinks or habits or things that maybe you're not into with this
That is
person,
so true.
because you could be doing things with this person, and this person suddenly you're fucking this person, and this person's like, "Mo want you to top me on my back." Maybe you're not into that, and then you could like, okay.
Choke my little lit.
And you can be like, okay, all right, this is not going to work because this person has some weird fetishes and things that I'm not really right. So it's just like this is what I
And
always say about things like this.
I'm
When you
of
go to the store to buy something, maybe something you thought you always wanted, you test it out first. You try on the shirt first, you look at it, you see if it's the color that you like, the size that you like, and this goes for sex too. You see if this is the type of dick you like, the dick size you like, the ass size you like, the pussy size you like, whatever you're into. It's a part of testing out if this is something that will work for you for something in the future. So saying that, oh no, and be holier than thou. Oh no, we shouldn't fuck on the first date. We shouldn't kiss. We shouldn't do all of this. And then 3 months down the line, 2 months down the line, you're looking like Boo Boo the Fool because you're not sexually compatible with this person. Absolutely not.
and I'm of the mindset of fuck, I forgot what I was going to say. I completely forgot what I was going to say
That's very
just
common.
now. Oh my god. Not in the middle of the conversation. What the hell? Okay, I was going to say I'm of the mindset of, you know what, continue talking. It will come back to me. Jesus Christ, what the hell?
anyways,
What just
anyways, but let
happened?
me say this though. If it's for religious purposes, like Even though I'm not a religious person, I'm always open to like different religion, beliefs, and all of that things. Because I think I was watching Housewives of Dubai the
Yeah.
other day, and like she was explaining how dating works for them in their culture and all of that. Like if it's more culturally I don't know if inspired is the way, but if it's more like a cultural practice or like a religious practice, then I understand because that's your belief. That's the thing that you believe in. But outside of that, I really and truly don't see why we should care when, how, and
And
all of that. Like, if you want to fuck the man on the first day, like, go ahead and do it.
also it's different from like the hookup culture where you just like find somebody and just can have sex with them. That's not what we're really talking about. We're really talking about you and somebody you've been dating and you two definitely want to pursue a relationship, but you go on a first date and then you end up having sex.
And let's
Nothing's wrong
also
with
say
that.
dating sometimes a lot, especially in the gay community, sparks outside of a hookup or someone that you just met and you fucked on the first date and you're like, this was fun. Let's do this again. And
Let's
again, and
continue.
again, and again.
There you go. And it builds into something.
Happens a lot. Happens a lot. And sometimes you really find yourself,
Yeah.
like you can find someone attractive or you like them, but it's when you guys connect with dick in ass and dick in pussy and all of that, and that's when you really realize that.
You are very candid this episode.
But
Just
it's
saying.
I'm,
You're not
I'm sure
holding
kids ain't
anything
listening to
back.
this. Like, we're all adults.
I
We're
am
all
very sure as
adults.
well.
So it's
We don't
it's
care. Well,
Wh-
we do care, but we know
exactly.
kids aren't
So
listening
it's
to
just
this.
like it's at that particular point when two bodies become one and be doing the things that nature intended us to do. That's when you really realize how connected you are to this person or how not connected you are to this person. And
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to sit up there and lie that sexual compatibility is not important. A relationship
It is definitely
a
important in
relationship isn't
relationships. Come on.
all
It's
about
not the big
sex, but it's
thing,
very
but it
important.
does matters.
That's a part of the reason why we
Yes, it
get in a
does.
relationship. It could either be to procreate or, the human thing where we just do it for pleasure. Why would you want to not test the waters out? Sort of thing.
Some of us, as much as we can procreate, we definitely do try. We go at it as if we're trying
Be having
to
people down in the
procreate.
bed on the first day, down in the bed in the headboards, saying, I'm gonna breed you today. Or breed me, daddy, breed me, breed me, breed.
Oh my god.
And I mean, it's
This
always so funny, and
this is
I don't know where
such a
I've
mess.
adopted this saying of being down in the bed.
Oh.
But if you've experienced any sort of sexual interactions with me, you know what
Oh.
I'm talking about when I say having you down
Uh-huh.
in the bed, meaning yeah, get some real hard fuck. But anyway,
Well, thank you for clarifying that. Like we never
but
know what you have to talk about.
anyways, I've done it a few times. In fact, my last ex, the last person I've been with, um,
Yeah.
funny, yeah, we had an attraction, but funny enough, the very first day I met them on this trip, whatever, that's we didn't have sex, but we did a lot of sexual stuff. I guess, we didn't have sex because
Yeah.
other people were around. We met on a group trip where multiple people were around in multiple rooms. So for us to disappear and go do the do would have been kind of awkward for me. So,
Very
but we did a
obvious
lot of sucking and rubbing and all of that. And when
stuff.
we finally got the chance to, it was just as I had imagined. And we ended up
Because the
and
attraction
yeah,
was
we ended
there.
up dating for a whole year. So
That's
exactly.
not
So
bad.
it's not like, if you have sex with
In gay years, that's like
exact
10
right, that's a
years.
whole 10-year relationship right there.
That's a whole
A
10-year relationship.
whole
A
long
lot
right,
happened in
a
that
whole
one
long
year.
term. So to say, it might ruin things and you know You might no longer be interested in the person because you tested the what. Let me tell you, if you really liked that person, you're really into that person, having sex the first day just might mean y'all turn rabbits for the next 3 months.
Yeah, and then as you said, you don't want to end up 3 months down the road finally doing something with this person. Like, oh wait, no, I don't like this.
Right?
This isn't for
This
me.
person
It's not
doesn't
gonna
touch my
work.
body in the right way, turn it on in the right way. So
After
there's
you've
so
invested
much
like
time. Yeah.
emotionally into this person, and then like when the physical happens, you're like, oh
And
no,
I mean, there are certain
no,
things you can
no.
bypass, in there are certain things you can bypass when it comes to sexual compatibility, but I mean, there's just certain things where just like you don't make me tick, you don't turn nothing on, whatever. And I need to know
Right?
because I'm a person that's very I don't have weak spots. Some people you can touch them and it's
Or like
a
if you touch like the
particular
nipple or
place.
something or neck, they're like, oh my
I
god.
don't at all. And I always
Yeah, I don't think
I
I have
thought
that either.
there was something wrong with me for the longest while because people will talk about, oh, if you kiss right here, if you do this or if you do that, it would get them going. And I realized I gotta be sexually and physically attracted to you. No, this doesn't just come from look. Well, I can look at some people, I can tell that I'd have a good time with them because I can read the aura. But I realized that we gotta do, we
Okay,
gotta do the
Gypsy
do.
Rose. Oh no, wrong name. Not that
We
name.
gotta do
Never
the
mind.
do to see if you really rev my engine up, if you really turn my body on. And that pretty much tells
Yeah.
me, a lot of how, whatever.
Like I've noticed a lot of people, the sensitive areas like the neck. I don't know if that does anything for me.
No, it's
It
how
really
attractive I
doesn't.
find you. It's how you make me feel. And if I feel some sort of way about you, you turn everything on. The lights are on in the house and all the alarms are beeping and I'm ready to go. So for me, it doesn't matter if the first day, the second day, like I'm a very sexual person, contrary to popular belief. So
Whose belief?
yeah,
Whose
true,
belief
you're
is
right.
that?
Because I always get comments that, oh, you look like you can lay it down. Yes, I can, but not everyone will get to experience that because I'm a very picky person.
And you see, that's the difference. It's not like you're just out there just going with anybody. You have your preference, and it's not everybody's going to have the opportunity to experience that, which is quite fine. Which is why, again, I don't think there's a problem with having sex on the first
There
date,
shouldn't be.
because clearly, especially with someone like you, not that you said picky, but you're just not going to just give it up to anybody. If you are going to date someone and you know in yourself, you know what you're attracted to. If you find out you're attracted to this person and you end up having sex with them,
Okay.
then
And
that's it.
let me
That's
shake my
that's just it.
tambourine here a little bit because there's this thing I like to say to people. I like to test the waters just in case.
In case of what,
No, in
flood?
case it just doesn't work out, or like it didn't work out. I'm like, all right, at least
Oh,
the sex was good. Because generally, if I'm getting with somebody to date them, I have to like them in some particular way. So I
but
have
of
to
course,
no,
what?
because
Why
people
would you
no,
be
because
getting with
people
them
settle
then?
for people who they aren't really attracted to or they don't really like.
Well,
So people
that's
do settle,
true.
but I don't settle.
That's true.
But if I do, it means that I do like you and I find you attractive in a lot of ways. So for me, doing the do is also a win for me, even if we don't end up whatever. I can be like, at least I experienced the joys of what it is.
The throes of
Exactly.
passion.
And my brain is very much like that because I met this guy in the club. No, I
Uh
saw this
huh.
guy as somebody that I definitely would want to date, right? I don't even talk to people. This guy was so hot. My type to the T. And this is where it comes in where I say I can read people's aura and sexual energy and I can know how it would translate to me. Started talking to this guy, of course, didn't want a relationship. I was like, ugh. Okay. But I still have to find out what this is gonna be. 4 days straight, back
And
to
did oh
back,
my gosh, really?
inseparable. And I'm like, well, you know,
Okay. Too bad it never
yes.
worked out.
But at least I can proudly say,
That is sad. You
and that's
experienced
how this
it.
brain works. But yes, sorry, I gotta be a whore, but we have to. It necessarily don't have to be
Oh
that.
my
And first,
god. The weirdest
go
thing.
ahead.
The weirdest thing just popped in my head when you
What?
said that. Georgia's bean. It's so gapey out here.
Not gapey,
I don't know why that came in my head.
but
Oh my god. Ah, Georgia's. What's going on? What's
but
that
let me say,
reaction?
but let me say that being the first day can also be subjective too. As you said earlier, in terms of
Mm-hmm.
you could be talking to this person for a while, whatever, whatever. Now in my brain, if we're communicating for months, weeks, whatever days, blah blah blah. In my mind, there's also a rapport that's building up as well, where I
Yeah,
know you to some extent, but not all the way. So like me meeting up with you for the first time is not really in my mind gonna feel like the first per se. Yeah,
a
because
first
like
date.
there's this rapport that's been going on. We've been sexting and having the nasty conversations and sending the nasty nudes, holes,
FaceTiming,
right?
all
Holes
these
being shown,
things.
dicks being shown, all of that. So it's like that also builds anticipation too. Because when you're
Yes, it
sexting with this
does.
person,
I can
right, when you're
attest to
sexting
that.
with this person who you're potentially going to be dating all this time, you're seeing their holes and poles and all of them things. Like
You
you
want to
want to find
sample
out
it.
what is going on with right here. You want to find out if all the writings on the walls
Mm-hmm.
in the text and all of that translate to real life. Because some people,
And when you do find out that it
life,
translates
you're
to real
gonna,
life, it is an
because some people
experience.
talk the talk. But then,
But they
exactly,
don't
and
play
when
the
you lay down
game.
with them, you're like,
Then this was it. I did this.
I can
Really?
gladly,
But then, when it is the game, you are
I can
very
get, I
excited
can
and
gladly
you do
say
want
that has
more.
never happened to me before. And I think I can sense people with good sexual energy. So that has never really happened to me before. But
Uh
yeah, when
huh.
you talk the game, it builds anticipation. Of course, I'm gonna want to do it. Why would I want to be seeing you all the time, laying up in the bed, going out, hanging out, and be fighting the
Right?
urge just in the name of these alleged rules? Oh, that we shouldn't be fucking
Especially when you're sending all these nasty
nasty.
texts. Come on. Like, okay, like there's this thing that Apple does every year, like a beta testing thing. So you know how to do the reveal of the new software, and they're like, hey, wait until September when the new phone comes out, then you can get the software. But they have a beta testing thing. I signed up for the beta testing because I said to myself, you're not going to tease me and show me all these new things and then expect me to
Give
wait
you
till
blue
September.
balls.
Whenever it's available, I'm going to exactly. So that whole thing goes back to this. You can't be sending me all these teas and whatever and being like, oh, alluring, and then expect me to no. If the chance comes, if when we do meet for the first time, if the chance comes, we're going to take it because all this tension has been built over these past few
Ain't no
months.
way you're gonna edge me.
You see, that's something I've never gotten into. I don't know why people. I get people say, "Oh, it makes it more exciting." I've never. I need to feel it, so
Not
I
feel
don't
it.
do that whole edging thing. No, I don't. I don't have time for
It's the
this
way you
edging
say it.
thing.
Like
I
I need to
need
feel it.
to. No, because what is the point? I need the release. I don't need. I don't have
I get.
time
I
to be
I I
edging.
I get
Ew.
that. But let me and also let me clarify. Of course, some people have boundaries, and stuff like that. But there's a certain things I expect,
We've been talking
and
like
it's. I
sluts
mean, it might
since the
sound
start
that
of the
way. It might
conversation.
sound that way, but I don't know. I don't want to say go with the flow because of the thing that people like to say these days, but I just believe that in dating, when it comes to sex, all of that, we should just let things happen when it's meant to happen. Right. Stop putting
Naturally.
all of these rules and whatever. If we land in the bed, unless there's some complication, whatever, or maybe, we say, hey, we want to get tested before we actually do the do and we haven't gotten a chance. Maybe things like that. But like if we laying up in the bed,
Yeah.
rubbing, fronting, kissing, jerking, sucking, doing fingering, doing all of that, I don't see why we should put a cap off
Why,
right
when
when
it
I'm
gets to that
heated.
point, you're gonna be like, no, we have to wait.
It's
Come
given
on. We can't get this far and then
it's given
stop.
virgin in the Bible.
And don't get me wrong, I do respect your boundaries. So if you upfront, you're like, these are whatever, I will respect your boundaries. But
But
yeah,
also this perspective too, where people be like, oh, the person can only just want sex and blah blah blah. 100% true. But let me tell you this: a person who is determined to have sex with you will play the game of dating you and get that sex and
of
still
course they
ghost you after
will.
3 months,
They even
even
6 months,
6 months, a
a
year.
year,
People are very people
15
are
days.
very devious when it comes to wanting something, and for some people it's there's like a adrenaline. I won't even want to say adrenaline rush, but there's just like a rush there, that knowing that it's hard to get, and you're playing hard to get, and they will play the game with you, wait it out until they
Until
get
they
it,
get it.
bam, and disappear.
Yeah. Just a ghost in the
So
night.
it doesn't matter if it's a first date.
Who was that? I have no idea.
So it doesn't matter if it's the first day, the second day, the
So
third day,
dumb.
especially when it comes to. And I realize that we're homosexual, and I realize we do make references between the LGBT and the defaults a lot.
The straights.
I call them the defaults.
The defaults. Oh my
Because
god.
they say that that's the default to sexuality, so I call them the defaults. I
Right?
realize that we do make comparisons to them a lot, and I really do believe this is more of a straight thing than it's a gay thing. Cause men like to fuck a lot, and men,
Which is why they always portray the homosexuals as very promiscuous on anything that
which
has to
they
do with
are, I'm
TV.
not gonna say no, they are, but I believe this is a more women sort of thing. But as I said, like men operate the same way. If they gotta wait 3 months just because that's what they wanted, some men will. Or they will just simply
They
stop
will.
talking to you. And the girl might look at it and be like, oh, that he was
He
only
was only
interested in
interested
that,
in sex.
which could be true, but also might not be true. Because this man might be really interested in you, to be honest. But again, he just believes that, you need to run the pussy, and make me see like if me really, whatever.
Especially if you're dating this person and you get to like 7, 8 months and you're still like, no, we have to wait. What exactly are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Because you didn't say we need to wait until marriage. So what are you
And let
waiting
me ask
for?
a question though. So for Christians, because I don't really know much, I don't really have a lot of. When I say Christian friends, I mean like hardcore Christian friends. Don't mean that you believe in God. Hardcore Christian, down to the Bible, Sunday service, Saturday service, tea sort of thing. I always wonder, like the Bible says, no sex before you're married, right? So do they actually be waiting?
Some of them
How are you
do,
so sure?
some of them they don't. Okay, so I I had a friend. I had a friend. Mind you, I my entire time I thought he was a part of the LGBTQ, so I'm not sure. But when you say like Christian, like in a church Christian, all in watch on news and church service
Mhm.
Christian, that was him. And the conversation has come up multiple times of like, so are you dating anyone? And he would always be like, no, I don't really see anybody I'm interested because of the country we're in. We don't really see anybody I'm really interested in, but I'm waiting until we get married. I'm like, so you don't even masturbate? Nothing? He's like, no, I'm okay. And I found that weird
They be
because
lying.
how you're 30 something and you don't do anything, not even
It
self pleasure.
must
I
be
found that
wet
kind of
dreaming every night.
weird,
From my
right?
experience, I've interacted with Christians before, and this is the reasons why I believe that they be lying. They're the
I
they are
have
the
something to tell you
freakiest,
about that.
nastiest set of person. Cause I used to mess with
Oh,
this boy
yes.
who was whole ass married, pastor on the pulpit every single day,
And they want to do the nastiest things.
all the time, everywhere,
Yes,
anywhere.
I have
So you're
experienced
telling me
it.
that
Mm-hmm.
oh he didn't have well for sure we knew he had sex before marrying the girl because we were doing things.
I guess it only counts because he wasn't having
Sex is
sex with
sex.
her. You know how some of these people think? They're
Oh, because it
weird.
was with a guy, don't count.
Especially the yes,
Mm.
it doesn't count. Maybe a lot of them are doing what the Mormons do.
I'm sorry, guys. I just don't know how that started playing.
Because you're on the phone. That's why I started playing. Anyway, as I was saying, maybe a lot of them do what the Mormons do. And I don't know if you've ever heard about this. Have you ever heard about soaking?
What?
Soaking. So yes, it's something that the Mormons do that I found out about like last year. So apparently, the Mormons don't believe in sex before
Mm-hmm.
marriage, right? So let's say a young congregant, because they all have their partners set out for them before they even turn 18, 19, right? So let's say Billy Bob and Sheila have been decided they are going to get married at some point. What they will do is Billy Bob will get hard and like lay on top of Sheila. He doesn't move. The insertion happens. But someone, like another friend, jumps on the bed and that creates
What
the
the hell?
motion in the ocean. It is called soaking. So they say that doesn't count as sex because they're not actively moving to cause it. Like, you bitches will find any way to fuck.
I thought
Won't
you were
you?
gonna say that they
Mm-hmm.
use her butt so it doesn't count as sex because you're not.
No, is the vajayjay, and he inserts it and just lays there, and somebody else is jumping on the bed. Look it up, soaking. It's a big thing. Hmm.
That's probably one of the wildest thing I've ever heard.
No, I've heard about it a few times, and I'm like, this is not true. But I looked it up.
So it's
It's a
basically a
thing. They
threesome
do it.
because the other person is there jumping on the
Basically,
bed, being a voyeur.
jumping on the bed, creating the motion in the ocean. Yes, Phil, Billy Baba and Sheila do them nastiness and say it
Mm,
don't
this
count.
is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways,
uh, but that just goes to show you, no matter how devoted of a Christian you say you are, and I get you do have people who are, yes, I am celibate until marriage. You have those people, but you do have those. They will find a way, and they will
clearly,
say, because we're doing it this way, it does not
clearly.
count. When you might as well it did just bounce up and down Billy Bob because at the same thing, yeah, though.
Mm. What if him actually come inside her now and she
right?
get pregnant? You know what? Let me come out of this rabbit hole. I'm not even trying to go because you don't even have to come because pre-cum and all of that too. But this is what I must say. Everyone is allowed to date the way they want, get into relationships they want, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think also one of the ideas of dating and all of that is finding someone who match your dating style, whatever your dating style is. If that is a your thing, that's perfectly fine, but not over here. Not around here, partner. We gotta do some sort of interacting. It doesn't matter if we have sex on the first day, second day, whatever, but we gotta know, like, within some time when we get close to each other. So this is not gonna work for me.
As we said before, we're not buying a pussy in a
Yeah,
bag. We
like
just not gonna do it.
you don't send nudes, automatic block. Well, not block, but the interest just went whoo, all the way down.
You see, that's the other thing too. I don't really send nudes, but if I am
I have
interested
to
in
know how it
you,
look.
best believe you're going to get
Yeah,
it.
because well, I
I
like
will
news.
send
Maybe I'm a
you.
whore, but I need to know how it looks. And I have a very curious mind, and sometimes I don't want to do anything, but I just got to see how it looks.
No, but just like you, where you said you're somewhat picky, I'm not just going to send my nudes to just anybody I'm talking to. But if we have a mutual attraction with each other and we decide we want to like pursue something, we're going to exchange nudes. At some point, it's going to happen. Come on, attraction. I want to like see what's under all that before. And then also, I think that helps to build the tension for when you finally see the person
Exactly.
in reality. Yeah, it's fun.
Anyways,
It's all a part of this rat
not the
race,
rat
this
race.
game of courting, It's
But
it's
anyways,
fun. Well, at least I think it is.
not a problem for me. Don't care. We gonna lay down in the bed and fuck like we're testing the waters out. So should you have, if you don't want it, that's
Yeah,
perfectly fine. But
I
it's
was
not
just about to
it's
say.
not a problem for me. So
We are clearly of the mindset of it's not a problem to do it on the first date. First, second, third date.
let's
There's no problem. Whenever it happens,
let
it
fuck be free.
happens. Haven't heard that in a while. But anyway, I think we can end it there. Oh, okay. Let's wrap up. With that said, we have come to the end of another episode. This has been Shiggles, another riveting
Riveted.
topic. I have been. Let's do this. I have been
And
that
this
guy,
was Darren,
Rickster.
guys.
And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we will catch you in the next one.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.